Stampers, it's Eleanor McGarry, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Canada, and as promised, this is part 2 of my tutorials featuring the Flowering Tulips Bundle. The first tutorial I had just showed you how to use the stamps and two-step stamping to create your cards. In this part 2 tutorial, I will actually be using the dies, these tulip dies, to create 3D flowers to put onto your cards. And this is the card that will be the sample or that we're going to make. I did this earlier and we're going to make it now. I'm going to show you how to make it, but we're going to use different color paper, different designer series paper to make this card. So to create our 3D tulips, these are the dies that we need, and these are the images that we need to cut out to create the 3 tulips. So the first one is just the 2 dies, and it just creates a little bud. So it's hard to see. I did it all in black because I wanted you to see against the white background. So basically, when you see your dies here, there's a little score mark right there, and that's so that you can easily fold your dies. So basically, this is just a little bud, and then you put the inside like that, and that's your little bud. And then, oh, I should tell you too, like this little cutout, Stampin' Up! Will give you 3 of those, which is great because you're going to need that for every single tulip. This one here, you only get 1, but you do need this die twice for the 2 different tulips that are open. So you will need to cut this out twice. All these other ones, you just need to cut them out once. This you cut twice to create your 3 different tulips. So that was that one, folded up. This one here, again, there's score marks already there done by the actual die. So you're going to go ahead and fold that. It's hard to tell until you folded it. If it's upside down, obviously that's what the tulip should look like. And then go ahead and grab, it's this one here, goes in the middle like that. And then you just have, actually, you know what, you can even just leave it like that if you want. But if you wanted to add something else, then you can add that in the middle. And it's all in black, so it's hard for you to tell, but you'll see when I show you my samples what you can do with the different designer series paper and different colors of cardstock to make beautiful tulips. So this one here just folds right in half, and it's already looking like a tulip. And also for this one, really at this point, you might only want to need that one to create a tulip because that looks like a tulip right there, does it not? So that's good enough. But if you want it to be more layered, then you add that first. And then add your final center like that. So these are the dies that you need to create the 3 different embossed tulips for our cards. And now I'm going to show you how to make an actual card using the beautiful marbled paper. Okay, let's get going. What we're going to need to make this card is my card base, which is Misty Moonlight, and then I have a layer of white, which is 5 by 3 3/4, and then I've also done a smaller layer of white, which is 5 by 2 1/4, and then a slightly larger piece of soft succulent, which is 5 by 2 1/2, and I've gone ahead and I've ran that through an embossing folder, and it was the Tasteful Textures embossing folder that I used to run this through. And this is how we're going to create the beginning of the card. So first of all, of course, let's get our craft sheet to protect our surface. I'm going to go ahead and glue this to our soft succulent piece that I've embossed in the cut and emboss machine. So let's go ahead and glue that to here. Right in the center, you want to just make sure that you have the same amount of green approximately showing on each side, and then this will get glued to here with most of it on the right side because we're going to put a greeting right there. So let's go ahead and do that. And of course, once that's all put together, we're going to go ahead and glue that. Let me just cut it. There's a little bit showing on that side, on the top, that I don't want to be there. So just cut it, use your scissors to cut it so it's flush to your white card. That's better. And then let's go ahead and add our glue, and we're going to glue that to our base card before we get going to creating our actual 3D flowers. So there we have the beginning of our card, all done, ready for us to start attaching our flowers right after we create them. So that's what the base card's going to look like. Misty Moonlight, white, basic white, and then soft succulents underneath there. I've gone ahead and cut out the pieces of our 3D tulip that I'm going to need for my card. If you compare to the video just prior to this, where I had it all cut out in just black so you could see it, these are the pieces that I'm going to need. And I want to show you the paper that I've used. This is the Simply Marvelous paper that you can get from Celebration. And I use this here. You can tell it's gorgeous paper. It's double-sided. And I chose this because it obviously is going to match with our Misty Moonlight cardstock. But the paper itself, I'm going to show you other cards after this card that I made using the other colors. See, look how beautiful that is in different color. The colors that this paper comes in are Balmy Blue, Basic Gray, Blushing Bride, Bumblebee, Coastal Cabana, Flirty Flamingo, Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather, Misty Moonlight, Pool Party, Smoky Slate, and so Saffron. So can you imagine all the different colors of beautiful tulips and flowers you can create using the dies and this paper? And of course, it's not just for the flowers. You could use this too for scrapbooking or layering onto your cards. And again, one side looks like this, marbly, and the other side is just a gorgeous, gorgeous. They look like tidal pools of water, do they not? Just so beautiful. So this is a beautiful set of Designer Series paper that works wonderfully with the Tulips dies. So now that we've cut everything, I'm going to show you how to put together your buds. The top one here makes just a bud that's still closed. The two here make tulips that are actually opened up already. And you can play around with your paper because, as I said, it's double-sided, so you can choose either. You can follow the score lines to have this showing, or you can have the lighter side showing. So I think I'm going to go with this showing. I like that better. And then you can, again, decide if you want this showing up top or the other side. And I think I like this better. So that's how I'm going to do my little closed bud. And this is all ready to get glued. Now the next one, again, you're just following your score lines. The die creates those score lines for you so that you don't have to worry about where to fold. So there's your tulip there. And then you can again decide, do you like that or do you like that? Let's see what the other side looks like. You can totally play around at this point to decide how you want your tulips to show. Actually, honestly, I like it showing the darker side, but you know, everyone's different. And then I think I like that. And then do I want that or the lighter? I don't know. I like the darker side. So that's going to be what my next flower will look like. And then this one only folds once. And this is one that you can kind of manipulate. So you want it to be a smaller flower, great, just do that. Or you can glue it so it's further out. And then let's do this. I like how that looks. And then I have two extra here. I just cut out some extra pieces so that I can decide how I want it to look. That looks kind of cool. Or this one here is a bit more like, it looks like clouds, doesn't it? So what What do you like? I think, oh, that kind of looks nice too. So it's either going to be that or this. I can't decide. I think I like this better. So these are the 3 flowers that I've created using my Simply Marvelous paper. I'm going to glue this all together and then come back and I'll show you how we do the stems. Okay, we're almost ready to put our card together. These are the tulips that I showed you earlier. I've already glued them. And we're also going to need 3 leaves and some stems that I've already cut out. The leaves that we used are these 2. And I've stamped them using soft succulent ink on soft succulent cardstock. So 2 of the small ones here and 1 of the large one, and then the stem, sorry, I cut one that was the exact same length as the stem, which is this here. It's this stem here, but you'll also notice that for the other 2, they're quite a bit longer. Like this is the actual stamp and this is the actual length of the stem. And you need a longer stem because some of those flowers on your card are going to be up high, see? And the actual stem that, the image of the stem from the stamp set is very, very short or not long enough for the design of the card. And if you try to do that, obviously, well, your stem's not going to be long enough. So I'm going to show you how I created a longer stem. Now, when you order, I've said in prior videos, when you order your photopolymer stamps, it'll come enclosed in 2 sheets of plastic. One is going to be a heavier plastic. That is this here, which I've kept. That's where this is all kind of clinging to. Let's just put back this die. And then it's on the other side of that heavy plastic is a slightly flimsier plastic. That is what you use to manipulate stamps. I use this technique a lot because I'm going to go ahead and use the plastic as my block. And it's easy because you can move it around. So what I'm going to do is just, this is some extra leftover soft succulent cardstock. Just ink up your stem. And you want it longer, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply pressure to the stem, but not to that part. So all I'm getting is that. And then I'm going to ink it up again. And this time I'm going to apply, I'm going to try and line up this part of the stem to there as best as you can. It doesn't matter if it's not 100%. And then I'm going to go ahead and just apply pressure. And now you have a longer stem. And sure, there's a little bit of overlap there, but it doesn't really matter. If you see on my longer stems, you see the overlap right there, but it doesn't really show. And that's how you create a longer stem, so that when you're putting your card together, you can actually have stems that'll reach all the way to the bottom. Then you're just going to cut that off. Okay, so now it's time to put our card together, and let's do that. The last step, of course, is just to add your greeting, and I needed a greeting that was small enough to fit in the small area here, and I love the Handsomely Suited stamp set for this particular reason. Is the thank you is tiny enough to fit in these little small spaces, because the greetings in the actual Flowering Tulip stamp sets are just too wide. And I did use them in other cards that I'll show you after this, but for this particular design where you have a very small narrow white space, this thank you from Handsomely Suited just really fits the bill, and I kind of gravitate toward that thank you because I do a lot of thank you cards. I use this thank you a lot. So my last step that I like to do is just add some gems, and let's do that now. So these are the in color gems, in color jewels, sorry, and it comes in all the 4 in colors: soft succulent, fresh freesia, evening evergreen, pale papaya, and polished pink. And let's just get some of that soft succulent to match the soft succulent in our card. Let's add one there, and maybe just one more here. And there you have a finished card. I'm going to show you the other cards that I made using the Tulips Dies to create your 3-dimensional flowers. I have a few of them. So this one is the exact same card as that, but I use the same Simply Marvelous Designer Series paper, but I use the purple, the Highland Heather. And I did use the Thinking of You greeting from the Flowering Tulips. I had a bigger space here, so I was able to use that stamp. And then here again, you know, I'm very, I like to use the same design if I know I love it and it works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So here we go again, same design, exactly the same. But this time I used a different paper. This is the New Horizons paper, and that's what this paper is from. As you can tell, here it is. I've cut it up already to create these tulips. The New Horizons paper is also gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous paper. I will be doing a tutorial where I've used this. Look at this scenery. Look at that. It's just great for doing this kind of technique with the Tulips Dies. But the back sides of them are just as beautiful. So I will be using this paper and showing you ideas on how to create lovely cards with this. Again, it is the New Horizons paper, and this was the paper that I used to create those tulips. Again, this is from the New Horizons Designer Series paper. And then the last card I made was not this design because I wanted to try something different. So this one here, I just use actual cardstock. This is Rich Raspberry, and this is Fresh Freesia here. This is Fresh Freesia as well. And the little off-white parts of the flower, that's just basic white that I've sponged Fresh Freesia ink on. And then this here, that is the New Horizons paper that I cut to fit the side. So here are your 4 cards rather, that I've made using the beautiful Tulips Dies. I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned a little bit from what I shared with you today, and I would like you to try and follow this design and post your samples or email them to me, and I can feature you in my blog. Again, it's Eleanor McGarry, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Canada. If you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would love if you did. Subscribe button is on the bottom right. And if you haven't yet, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I sure would love to help you with your Stampin' Up! Needs and give you ideas on how to use all your supplies that you've purchased. All my information is in the description link below. Have a great day stamping. Enjoy your craft supplies. Thanks for watching.